We may have the biggest Warrior news since they got KD in 2016. Multiple people are making the wildest claim I have heard about Draymond.
The Golden State Warriors are at a breaking point. I don't know if Draymond Green will be back as a Golden State Warrior. I'm quoting. Y'all figure out where I just heard that from.
What? They're gonna trade or cut one of the big three? Now you might say that is Stephen A. Smith, okay? He says all sorts of things. Okay, what about Zach Lowe? That man doesn't just talk. He is the opposite of hot take. And he said this.
Depending on how long the suspension is, when he comes back from it, assuming he comes back from it, and I'll just leave that there, at minimum, he will have been ejected or suspended from just about half of the Warriors games, whenever that date is. Again, if and when.
If and when? Oh, and then Zach Lowe comes out, apologizes, cuts it out of the podcast, and says, I'm sorry, that was a flippant comment by me. Like, not serious, not legit. Dude, you said it twice. First you were like, hey, if he comes back, dramatic pause. I'll just leave that right there. And then he repeated it. Dude did not misspeak. They are hearing this. It reminds you of when cameras caught Steve Kerr saying, I am so effing tired of Draymond's S. This could be the wildest ending to the Warriors dynasty we could have ever imagined. But there's something else that's just as bad. But as you know, I do YouTube. My wife does home loans, and the number one issue people always have is their credit. I think it's so unfair we can't build our credit without some high interest credit card for everyday purchases. Oh wait, we can. It's the Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card. You can build your credit scores with on-time payments for everyday purchases, and the card has no annual fees, no interest, or credit checks to apply. You can use it everywhere that Visa credit cards are accepted. You build credit using your own money in your account and get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. With a qualifying direct deposit, you can get access to your money sooner and fee-free overdrafts with SpotMe. They have access to 60,000 plus fee-free ATMs, which is more than the top 3 national banks combined. So start building your credit. Just open a Chime checking account with at least a $200 qualifying direct deposit to get started. And get started at chime.com/amhoops. That is chime.com/amhoops. I have to read this next part legally. Let's see if I can get it in one try. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp NA or Stride Bank NA, members FDIC. Eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Access to direct deposits up to 2 days early depends on the timing of the submission of the payment file from the payer. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. If Draymond is suspended for like 25 games, they have no chance of making the playoffs. Right now, they're going to put Jonathan Kuminga in that role. Look, I know JK is improving, but he is not close to Draymond. Dre elevates everything that Steph does. He is a better defender, communicator. Look, Kuminga has been good. He has good moments. He is not a consistent player to replace Draymond. So the league is taking this over because the Warriors can't be trusted to handle Draymond. Can you believe last year when he punched Jordan Poole, the Dubs suspended him 0 games? They let him get away with that? How is that even possible? So Draymond stepped away on his own. He made that cheesy documentary on TNT about how much he's working on himself, and he put his kids in it to make us all feel sorry for him. He has been suspended 4 times since then. 4 times. That is insane. But you know what's even worse? The Warriors don't even have their own first round pick. It goes to Portland unless it's in the top 4, which means if they tank like hell, then maybe they could have something to show for all this. It would sting so bad if the Blazers benefited from all this crap. So the only way around this is to suck so bad they're a bottom 4 team by the end of the season. So let's look at the league standings, not by conference. The Pistons are worse at 2-22. The Spurs and Wizards, they all have an equal chance at the number 1 pick. But the Dubs have 10 wins, and that's not far off the 4th worst team in the league. But how would Steph Curry react if they did that? There will be major changes to this team because Draymond is actually only one of their problems. I will bet, secretly, they are almost as frustrated with Klay Thompson. For the first time ever, he was benched at the end of a close game, missed 8 of his 10 shots and 7 of 8 threes, so Kerr went with the young guys, Steph and Dario Saric. That must have been so tough mentally on Klay, but guess what? Nobody cares.
I'm sure he's disappointed. You know, it's not easy being in that situation, but this is the NBA. You know, it's a dream job for these guys, and it's also incredibly difficult. You get booed, benched, injured, traded, cut. It's not easy.
I love that answer. Kerr's like, yeah, probably doesn't like it, but welcome to professional basketball. No one is above getting benched. Like when GM Bob Myers said he left because Klay's new contract would be tough, he's getting a statue outside of Chase Center one day. Yeah, Kerr's like, I don't care. At some point, you get benched if you suck. Deal with it. Now Shams is reporting the Dubs offered Klay 2 years, $48 million before the season, but now there is no deal. This is the closest Klay has ever been to leaving the Warriors. I won't be shocked if it actually happens. But no one's even asking Kerr about Wiggins at this point, he's so bad. The Ringer just came out with their newest NBA player rankings. Wiggins has dropped from 50th in the league before the season to 80. Worse than Austin Reeves and Kyle Kuzma. One spot better than Dylan Brooks. So how did he go from locking down Luka, then Jason Tatum to win a chip, then about 1 year later, this? The Warriors can't win with that. And the reason that he has dropped connects to his days in Minnesota. Wiggins was drafted number 1 in 2014 over Joel Embiid at 3. He won Rookie of the Year, casually dropping 30-point games. Now, he was bad on defense and inefficient, but hey, most rookies are like that, no big deal. But as the years went on, fans turned on him. His defense was so bad, there were entire YouTube videos on it, and the scoring didn't lead to wins. But the Wolves traded for Jimmy Butler in 2017 to toughen up Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns. Instead, it totally backfired because Butler was disgusted by Wiggins' unmotivated attitude and huge contract. His ESPN interview was the most savage comment to Wiggs.
I'm not the most talented player. Who's the most talented player on our team? Cat. Who's the most God-gifted player on our teams? Wiggs. Wiggs got the longest arms, biggest hands, can jump the highest, can run the fastest. But like, who plays the hardest? Me.
Calling out his teammates by name, saying they don't play hard. They don't care. So the Wolves were dying to get rid of Wiggs, and the Warriors swooped in, dealing D'Lo and a pick. So how did he become prime Kawhi 1 year later? The change happened during the pandemic shutdown. Steve Kerr went to Wiggs and said, "It is so stupid that you're not a lockdown defender. You're 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan." It's exactly what Jimmy Butler was saying. God-given talent, but doesn't try hard. So Wiggs took it to heart. He suddenly got motivated for the first time in his career. People started calling him two-way Wiggs on social media, and he made his first All-Star game as a starter. Okay, BTS might have rigged the voting a little bit, but he did deserve to be there. The difference from Golden State and Minnesota was he's not the number 1 option. All the hype was gone. He could focus on just being an elite 3-and-D guy. But something happened. Last year, Wiggs missed the last 23 games with a family crisis. Since then, he's gone. Not even back to Minnesota Wiggins. It's worse than that. The Dubs would take him dropping 20 a night with bad defense at this point. Dude can't even dribble the ball. Whatever's wrong is mental. Just look at the beginning of the season. Kerr said he came into camp out of shape. Whatever happened with Wiggins' family has turned him back into that unmotivated player, and he needs a way out. Now, in a recent video, I suggested trading Brandon Podziemski for Pascal Siakam, and I know a lot of fans hated that because Pods has been an amazing rookie. But what else can they do? I mean, at some point, you have to trade good young players to extend Steph window. The best argument against that is, hey, the Dubs need size. Like ideally a big elite 3-and-D center. But those guys aren't just available. Okay, the players on the market, according to Shams, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, OG Anunoby, and Pascal. Out of those, the only all-star who is like 6'8" or taller with long arms is Siakam. I know he can't shoot, but hey, maybe it's not a problem playing him and Draymond together if Draymond's not on the team. But Siakam is just one guy who might be traded. We now have 4 big names that could get moved. So I broke down where LaVine, Siakam, and the others might go.